and click on recording. There we go. So welcome everyone to my Sleep with Intention event. I am really happy that you joined me. Some of you I know, most of you I know, but just in case we haven't met yet, my name is Nancy Baker, and I absolutely love supporting people who are motivated to improve their health. It's awesome. So I'm going to tell you just a little bit about me. I am a wellness advocate with doTERRA Essential Oils, and I currently live in Fort McMurray, Alberta with my two boys and my husband Dave, and work at our local college. And I became very interested in natural health and natural therapies about a decade ago, so about 10 years ago. I was diagnosed with an aggressive form of breast cancer when I was 37, and I underwent all the typical allopathic treatments, surgeries. I think it was like 7 surgeries, treatments including chemotherapy and radiation therapy, and countless hospital visits to the clinic and things like that. So I was really struggling with my health, and I realized at some point that I had to stop relying on other people to tell me what was going to make me well, and I had to kind of take responsibility for my own health and go kind of down my own path. So I really started down this journey of trying to learn new things to kind of help me take control of my health back and take my power back. So I'll tell you straight up, I am not an expert in sleep, and I'm not an expert in natural therapies or things like that, but I am very motivated to learn and to share all the knowledge that I've been kind of learning over the past decade. And so the reason why I was so interested in sleep, because since my diagnosis with cancer 10 years ago, I've had some serious sleep issues myself. And I've found some tips and tricks that have helped me along the way, and I've been really interested in some of the research or some of the things that are coming out on sleep. And so I thought I would do a little webinar on sleep. So let me just page down here. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, we just talked a little bit about me, but we're going to talk why sleep is so important to your overall health. And I'm going to talk a little bit about some sleep hygiene tips and some tips and tricks that I've learned. And then we're going to talk about how to use and incorporate essential oils into supporting your sleep. I've been using them for quite some time now, and I absolutely adore them. So that's what I will say about that. That's me. So let's talk about the hazards or the issues with not having enough sleep, or hazards of insufficient sleep, I guess. Experts say that you need to have 6 to 8 hours of good sleep. That is the cornerstone of health. So just as important as nutrition and exercise and stress reduction and all those types of things, meditation, sleep is just as important. It is right up there. So recent studies have shown that if you mess with your body's sleep-wake cycle, your blood pressure can go up, and it can affect your hunger hormones and throw off your blood sugar. And over time, it kind of sets the stage for a whole bunch of metabolic diseases, such as diabetes. So research is showing that reducing your sleep by just even 1 single hour per night increases an expression of genes associated with inflammation, immune excitability, diabetes, cancer risk, and of course, increasing your stress and anxiety levels. So even the Center for Disease Control and Prevention has stated that a lack of sleep it's a public health epidemic. So it's becoming rampant, and they're noting that insufficient sleep has been linked with a wide variety of health problems, and it includes things like reduced productivity at work, poor grades in school, reduced athletic performance. So if you have kids that are playing hockey or playing sports, them not getting enough sleep is affecting their performance in any of their activities. It's reduced creativity, slow reaction times. There's a whole host of neurological problems ranging from depression to dementia and Alzheimer's. There's increased risk of, and I mentioned this before, but of diabetes and obesity, increased risk of cancer, high blood pressure. There's just a whole host of things. And another big one is decreased immune function. So you're at more risk of getting colds and flus and things like that if you are not getting enough sleep. And it also, for any of the women on the phone or on the line here, it actually contributes to premature aging. So we definitely don't want that. So I want to talk first about the circadian rhythm and what it is and why it plays a role in your sleep-wake cycle. So according to the National Sleep Foundation, if you've ever noticed that you tend to feel energized or drowsy around the same time every day, you have a circadian rhythm to thank for that. You know how we get that afternoon kind of sugar craving or afternoon, you want to have the nap? So your circadian rhythm is basically your 24-hour internal clock that keeps you running. And it keeps running in the background of your brain, and the cycles between sleepiness and alertness at regular intervals. It's known as your sleep-wake cycle. So for most adults, our biggest dip of energy happens in the middle of the night, surprisingly enough, somewhere between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. And that's usually we're fast asleep then. And then just after lunchtime at between 1 and 3 in the afternoon, this is another kind of cycle. And we tend to crave this post kind of lunch nap at that time. So those times can be a little bit different based on if you're a night owl or a morning person. You won't feel the dips and rises in your circadian rhythm as strongly if you're caught up in your sleep. So when you're sleep deprived, you're going to notice these big swings in how you're feeling much, much more. So let's talk about optimizing your sleep sanctuary. My bedroom, that's not my bedroom. My bedroom does not look like that. It's not that clean, although I try. So optimizing your sleep sanctuary, we're going to talk about a few things. One of the things is you need to sleep in complete darkness or as close as possible. So for any of you who are on the phone from Fort McMurray, we know how hard that is. It's easy in the wintertime because it's so dark here. In Fort McMurray, the sun doesn't, it kind of just comes up over the horizon and then it goes back down in the wintertime, like around 3:30 or 4. But in the summertime, my goodness, we have daylight from about 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning all the way up till it can be 11 or 12 p.m. And we learned that, Dave and I learned that the hard way the very first summer that we were here, spring. We woke up one morning and birds were chirping and it was 4:30 in the morning and we're like, my God. So you need to sleep in complete darkness. Even the tiniest bit of light in your room can disrupt that internal clock, that circadian rhythm that I was just talking about. And it's kind of like in your pineal gland, the production of melatonin and serotonin happen there. So even the tiniest little glow from your radio clock can be interfering with your sleep. So make sure you're closing your bedroom door, get rid of night lights, turn out any lights at all. Even when you're getting up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, try and go in the dark. Hopefully you don't stub your toe or anything. Make sure there's a clear path to your washroom. But even cover up things like your radio clock. Make sure that you're using the blackout curtains or blackout blinds. You want to be in complete darkness. Basically all of life evolved in response to predictable patterns of light and darkness. We didn't have lights back in the days of cavemen. Even 100 years ago, 150 years ago, we didn't have as much light or light pollution as we do today. So modern day electrical lighting has significantly betrayed your inner clock by disrupting your natural rhythms. So those of us who are dealing with having a hard time falling asleep, waking up through the night, waking up too early, little bits of light pass directly through the optic nerve to your hypothalamus in your brain, which controls your biological clock. Light signals your brain that it's time to wake up and start preparing your body for action. So that's one thing. The other thing is we need to be really, really cautious of electromagnetic fields, EMFs. Electromagnetic fields, they're a combination of invisible electric and magnetic fields of force. They're generated. They are generated naturally. There's a natural phenomena like the Earth's magnetic field, but it's also caused by human activity, mainly through the use of electricity and things like our TVs and cell phones and other electronic devices. So these things disrupt this pineal gland in our brain and the production of melatonin and serotonin and have significant effects as well. So guys, do not have your phone in the bedroom. And I am so guilty of that myself. It's hard, especially when you're working, you got kids, I'm, running a home-based business to not take, in the netbook or the phone to bed. But you really, really cannot have electrical devices in the bedroom. So move alarm clocks and other electrical devices away from your bed. If you have to have them in your room, move them as far away from your bed as possible, at least 3 feet. And, cover up the alarm clock. You really actually don't want to be looking at the alarm clock in the middle of the night, because when it's 2 a.m., it's 3 a.m., it's 4:30 a.m., it's not helping anything. The other thing with alarm clocks is avoid using a loud alarm clock. I had an alarm clock when I was younger, and it only had one volume. It was really loud and a really annoying sound, and I will never get over the sound of that alarm clock. Sometimes I'll hear it like on a movie or something, and it still causes a reaction in me. It's really stressful on your body to be suddenly jolted awake. So if you are regularly getting enough sleep, an alarm may even be unnecessary. A lot of times, once you get into a sleep-wake cycle, you're going to be waking up at the same time every day. I know that's hard to believe for some. I actually gave my alarm clock up for one of those sun alarm clocks. I think I got it at Costco or Walmart. But it's one of those natural alarm clocks, and the sun it imitates the sun, so it kind of just comes up, and then some nice little birds chirping happen. Anyway, it's a lovely alarm clock to wake up to, and it's much better than the buzz of a phone or a loud alarm clock. And the other thing is, turn your bedroom into an oasis for sleep. So your bed is a place to sleep, to rest comfortably, and there's only 2 activities: sleep and sex. Other than that, nothing else. No television, no watching phones. You can read a book before bed, but anything else, such as work computers or watching televisions, they reduce the quality of your sleep. So if you have a TV in your bedroom, get rid of it. Get it out of your bedroom. There's no place in your bedroom for that. So let's talk about optimal sleep temperature. My husband and I debate this all the time because he likes it really warm and I don't. I like it cool. But the optimal sleep temperature for your bedroom is between 15 to 20 Celsius. So it shouldn't have it any more than 21 degrees. And many people in their homes, particularly if they have an upstairs bedroom, it's too warm. So studies show that the optimal room temperature is between 15 and 20 Celsius. So keeping your room cooler or hotter can lead to a restless sleep. So when you sleep, your body's internal temperature drops to the lowest level, generally about 4 hours after you fall asleep. And scientists believe that a cooler bedroom may therefore be the most conducive to having a good sleep. And it mimics your body's natural temperature to drop. So one of the other things that I do before I go to bed is I turn on my essential oil diffuser. You can use your whatever favorite blend you have, and I'm going to talk about a few of those in a few minutes. But I turn mine on a few minutes before I'm ready to go to bed, and I kind of get the room ready for sleep. I use a fan, I turn on my fan, I like some white noise, and I turn the diffuser on. And my brain recognizes that smell is, and the room dark is ready for me to go to bed. So yeah, there's one thing I would say as well. If you have a husband that snores, if you can't get rid of the snoring, kick him out to another room, because it's really significantly going to impair your sleep. So let's talk about some good sleep promoting habits. Humans, we are creatures of habit. I am a creature of habit. And that's why I'm talking about the diffuser, turning it on before you go to bed, because we are creatures of habit. So when you establish a kind of soothing bedtime routine that you go through every single day, every single evening before you go to bed, you are more likely to fall asleep easily and sleep more restfully. So especially for those of us who are waking up, if you're waking up in the middle of the night, set the same routine every single day. I'd say morning and night routine, but activities such as having a hot shower or warm bath. And I like to add my favorite essential oils. I actually have made bath bombs with my essential oils, and I use serenity and lavender and things like that. And having a nice hot bath before you go to bed, it just kind of sets you to fall asleep. I also like to do some easy yoga poses or stretching before bed. And one of the things I would say is, if you get into bed and you've been there about 20 minutes or 25 minutes and you're still not falling asleep, get up and go out of the room, because you're going to lay there. If you're not falling asleep within 20 to 25 minutes, you're probably not going to fall asleep, and then you're going to get frustrated that you're not falling asleep. So just get up and, just read a book. Don't watch TV. Try and just read a book. Do something kind of really quiet. Do a little bit more yoga, or maybe a little bit of meditation. Try not to watch television and things like that, because now you'd be getting all of that light, which then again kind of depresses your melatonin production. Another really important thing for sleep, promoting good sleep habits, is getting plenty of bright sunlight exposure in the morning and at noon, or one or the other if that's all you have. And I know it's hard when you're living in a northern province, but exposure to bright light first thing in the morning stops the production of sleep-inducing hormone melatonin. So it's kind of like, the sleep-wake cycle. This is part of the wake cycle, and it signals your body that it's time to wake up. Outdoor sunlight is absolutely the best. So you might even want to take like a real quick little walk outside. It doesn't have to be long. Not only is it going to increase your physical activity, but it's going to help you sleep later in the day. So by taking a walk outdoors, you actually, either first thing in the morning around noon, it gives you more exposure to bright sunlight. I'd also throw in some vitamin D. It will also help. If you can fit in a 1 hour walk every day in the bright sunlight, again, I know it's harder in the wintertime, but it does boost your natural vitamin D, which is the best way for you to get vitamin D, and it helps you manage that circadian rhythm. It all comes back to your circadian rhythm. At sundown, dim down the lights around, 8 to 9 p.m. If the house is all lit up, start dimming the lights down. It's going to tell your body that it's time to, kind of turn down. Normally, your brain is going to start secreting melatonin between 9 and 10 p.m. So if you're a night hawk and you're staying up past that time, you might be missing some important serotonin sleep time. It's not saying that you have to be in bed by 9 p.m., but you should be getting your thought process in place. Your bedtime routine should be starting around then. And then after sundown, I love to use my salt lamp. If you guys have a salt lamp, I like to use that in the evenings. It helps not to interfere with the production of melatonin. And then, of course, exercising daily. That's another really good sleep-promoting habit, is your body thrives on exercise and movement, and it reduces your risk for all kinds of diseases and metabolic disorders. But it also helps you sleep more soundly. So, again, getting out for that walk every day really, really helps. And so in terms of establishing a good bedtime routine, in terms of preparing for bed, I'm going to recommend, I love Dr. Mercola's blog. He has the leading natural health blog, I think in North America, or maybe even the world now, I'm not sure. But he has lots of great information on sleep. So I would highly suggest that you guys look him up. It's Dr. Mercola, MERCOLA.com. One thing is, get to bed as early as possible. So the majority of your recharging time happens between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. And in addition to that, there's some bodily functions that happen during that time. your gallbladder dumps toxins during this period of time. And if you're awake, the toxins kind of back up into your liver, which further disrupt your health and your sleep health. So prior to, I'm going to go back to prior to the widespread use of electricity, people would go to bed really kind of shortly after sundown, just the way some animals did. They kind of followed the light and dark sleep patterns. So I really, like I said, I love to set up my room for sleep. I turn on my diffusers for a few minutes before I'm getting ready to go to bed with my favorite essential oils. Right now, I'm currently diffusing Serenity, which is the doTERRA blend. It has, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. And I've been using Serenity, Cedarwood, and Vetiver, and another blend called Easy Air. I like to put them all on my diffuser. I put a couple of drops of each of them in my diffuser and use those every night. But sometimes I switch it up. Everybody has their own different chemistry, and you really need to kind of find the oils that are going to work well for you. And I'm going to be sharing a few of those examples in a few minutes. But one of the things, essential oils, they're so powerful in terms of helping to resist disease, resist pathogens in the air, but they're also really impactful in mood and grounding and balancing and calming. And that's why they're so wonderful for sleep and the wake cycle. So I have essential oils that I use at night, and I also have essential oils that I use in the morning. So when I wake up in the morning, I have a diffuser in my bathroom that's usually already set to go. And I love to diffuse peppermint and wild orange. It's invigorating and it wakes me up, just like I have my oils for sleep. The other really important establishing a bedtime routine is don't change your bedtime. You should be going to bed at the same time every day, even on weekends. It will help your body get into a sleep rhythm. So I know we like to have that Saturday morning or Sunday morning sleep in. Don't. Get up and go to a yoga class or get up and go for a walk. It makes it easier for you to fall asleep every night. So establish a bedtime routine. One of the things in terms of a bedtime routine that I like, if you like to meditate, or if you've never meditated before, it's a good time to start. It doesn't have to be long. You only need about 5 minutes. You can build up to longer if you like. But it's as simple as just purposely taking time to be silent for a few minutes. So just sit. You can even sit in your room, kind of sit on your bed, turn out the lights, start to breathe in nice and deep. I like to inhale into my belly, feel my belly expand, and let it fall. And then I like to progress that. Inhale into my belly, let it move up, expand my rib cage, and then exhale and let it fall. And then I like to inhale my belly, up to the ribs, and then up through the lungs to the top of the chest, and then exhale. A lot of times what happens in our daily lives, we get so busy we forget to breathe, and we start breathing into our chest. So you'll be breathing shallow into your chest. So before bed, it's a really nice time to just check in and just take notice to how you're breathing. Put your hand on your belly and your chest and just breathe and see where you're breathing into. So if you like to meditate, or if you've never meditated, just sit for 5 minutes and practice some breathing, and then just purposely be silent. Let your mind go silent. And I know a lot of people have a hard time with this. So the people who have a hard time falling asleep, we have this crazy thing called monkey mind. And it's really, really hard to stop thoughts going in and out of our brain. But I will tell you that practice makes perfect. So just practicing this for a few minutes every night and every morning is very powerful. It's very powerful, just it's almost like just letting the gray matter kind of relax in your brain and just letting go. And that's sometimes what I will just say over and over in terms of mantra is letting go, letting go, letting go. Or you can just say to yourself, I am, I'm present. I'm happy, I'm kind, I'm loving, I'm prosperous, I'm abundant. You can use whatever type of mantra or intention that you like. And then you can just be quiet and let the universe kind of just take its course. So that's a really lovely bedtime routine that I love. And having the essential oils helps you kind of settle your mind. It invokes these feelings of peace and grounding and calmness. A few other things. Just make sure that you're not drinking any fluids before bedtime. Like a couple hours before bed, you shouldn't really be drinking or eating anything. Go to the washroom right before bed. That'll help, with the chances of you having to wake up in the middle of the night and go to the washroom. Another thing is eating a high protein snack several hours. So like maybe 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. It can help kind of produce that melatonin and serotonin production. And for some people who kind of get hungry before bed, it's good to have a little tiny piece of protein. It could be, a little piece of chicken or a little piece of hummus or something like that. But avoid eating bedtime snacks that are particularly high in grains or sugars. Because what will happen is they raise your blood sugar and they can delay sleep. So you can have issues trying to fall asleep. And then later, like when the blood sugar drops so low, that hypoglycemia, you wake up and then you're unable to fall back asleep. Another thing, and I talked about this, was taking a hot shower or a bath, but your body temperature is raised late in the evening and it will fall at bedtime. So this helps facilitate that slumber. When my boys were babies, I used to do that with them before bed. That was a ritual that, when I was getting them ready for bed, they would have a bath, they would get their pajamas on, they would have their last bottle, and then they would go to bed. So it was this sleep cycle that they had all the time. So if any of you have young children, that's a really good sleep practice to get into, is doing the same thing and setting the room with the diffuser. I love lavender and I love Serenity for children. They are absolutely beautiful oils. The other thing is wear socks to bed, loose socks. But oftentimes our feet get cold before the rest of our body. And if you've ever gotten into bed, and sometimes we can have poor circulation there, it can keep you awake when your feet get really cold. So wear some loose fitting socks and make sure that you're putting your any of your work or work thoughts or things like that, get rid of them at least an hour before you go to bed. There is, for those of you who have a hard time settling your mind before bed, I would recommend journaling. Get a journal and set it beside your bed. So if you have a hard time turning your mind off, just use the journal to jot down a few things kind of in your bedtime routine or cycle. You can do it in the morning as well when your cortisol levels are high. But it's a good way to kind of write down your thoughts, and then you can kind of let them go and you don't have to hold on to those thoughts anymore. I will just make one other recommendation. There are lots of things out on the internet in terms of relaxation CDs, guided sleep meditations that are good to listen to just kind of get you into the thought process of going to sleep. So those are a few recommendations there. And then if all else fails, for any of you who know me, I love Nick Ortner. It's Nick Ortner, Ortner. He is the founder of the tappingsolution.com. And I think they actually have a tapping summit coming up soon. I'm not sure, but it's one of my current fixes for insomnia. So you can use, it's called the emotional freedom technique, and it's tapping basically on meridian points. And you kind of go through this thought process of tapping away kind of the things that are ailing you. So most people can learn the basics of tapping. It's really, really easy. It's out there on the internet. You can look it up, EFT. But it can help balance your body's the bioenergy system and help resolve some of maybe the emotional stresses that are contributing to your insomnia at a deep level. Like it gets to a deeper level of some of those things that you might be holding on to that are typically, helping us avoid a good night's sleep. So check his blog out. I absolutely love it. I've signed up to it, and they send out free meditations all the time if you sign up. And you can do them in the morning, you can do them in the middle of the afternoon. And once you get used to doing tapping, you'll be able to do it on your own so easily. So let's talk about essential oils. My favorite topic. I love them so much. There are 3 ways to use essential oils. topically. So that's when you're applying the oils to the areas of your body that need support. They will reach the bloodstream within 20 seconds, and they're distributed throughout the body, usually within about 20 minutes. It's best to dilute the oils when you're putting them on your body with fractionated coconut oil to avoid. Some people will have skin sensitivity, especially when it's really dry, like it is right here in the north right now. And always dilute them when you're putting them on children. But the bottoms of the feet are a great place to put your oils because it's very porous, and it's a very porous section of the skin that allows for the oils to be quickly absorbed. I love to put balance on the soles of my feet. I do that every single morning. I put balance on the soles of my feet. It's one of the doTERRA oils. It's one of the doTERRA blend oils, and it's very balancing to the hormones. It's almost like very steadying. I don't know how else to explain it, but it kind of steadies me for my day. But I also use it on the soles of my feet at night with some other essential oils. I also like to put, I make a little mixture in a roller bottle. You can buy roller bottles on Amazon. They're not expensive, and they ship to you like in a couple of days. Super, super easy. All you do is you put some fractionated coconut oil in and you mix up the blend. I have one beside my bed right now that actually Patricia made me up. It's got serenity, it has vetiver, it has frankincense, copaiba. You can put whatever you like in them. And I just put it on the soles of my feet and on my pulse points, like behind my ears, back of my knees, before I go to bed. Especially, one of the things I find with having the oils topically, if I wake up in the middle of the night, I will sometimes get up and put my diffuser back on because my diffuser runs for about 4 hours. I will put it back on without the light. And I have the roller bottle beside my bed, and I just apply the roller bottle to the soles of my feet, and sometimes I'll put it right across my forehead. And I find I fall back into a slumber pretty quickly. The second way to use essential oils is aromatically. So put a drop in the palm of your hands, cup your hands over your nose, and inhale deeply, and holy cow. If you've done it with peppermint, which most people who know me have done that with peppermint, it's holy well. Don't do that at night. It's not a good one for night. But I absolutely love that. You can do it with serenity. You can do it with lavender. You can do it with any of them, cedarwood. And then, of course, using it in your diffuser. It also will support the respiratory function and, of course, enhance your mood. So especially like on those evenings, if it is cold and flu season, having your diffuser running at night is really, really good for respiratory. And then the third way to use your essential oils is internally. But I'm going to tell you this, and not just because I'm a doTERRA wellness advocate, the only brand that I will recommend or trust to use internally is doTERRA, because I know the testing, the rigorous testing that they go through. So please, 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 please do not assume that it's okay to use any other brand of oil internally, because purity varies greatly. It is safe for consumption. If it's safe for consumption, the bottle is going to be clearly labeled, and it's going to be approved for internal use. So once you're assured of the quality, you can use a drop in your water or your tea. I use all kinds of oils in my water. I love the citrus oils, wild orange, lemon, grapefruit. I've been loving using ginger in the morning. I've been adding copaiba and frankincense, all kinds of different oils to my water or my tea. So I'm going to talk about a couple of oils quickly, only because these are some of my favorite sleep oils. As you start to learn about essential oils and you start doing some of your own essential oil research, get the Essential Life book. There's lots of stuff on the internet about essential oils, especially doTERRA. But lavender is absolutely, bar none, kind of one of the most favorite sleep essential oils. It's all things calming. It helps to ease feelings of distress, and it encourages like easy feelings. It's all things calming, not only to our emotions and for sleep. It's all things calming for the skin and things too. So if you've got some itchies going on or anything going on with the skin, it's good on the skin as well. But in terms of sleep, lavender is one of the best. And I will say, I really honestly did not like lavender until I started using doTERRA lavender, because there is nothing synthetic. It is just pure essential oil that comes from France. So it's a very beautiful oil for sleep. And then doTERRA Serenity. This is one of the blends of doTERRA oils. It's actually called the Calming Blend. And it has, you can see here, it has marjoram leaf, it has ylang ylang, it has Hawaiian sandalwood. It actually also has vetiver in it. It's not on this slide, but vetiver has been added to Serenity. And this is a very, very popular oil for sleep. This is the one that I use in my roller bottle and I use at bedtime. This is great for kids as well. If you want to take a bath at night, you can just use, a cup or two of Epsom salts and pour a couple drops of Serenity or Serenity and lavender into your bath at night. It's beautiful and wonderful. Or if you're so adventurous you'd like to make bath bombs, we use this one for bath bombs all the time. Love it. Vetiver. This is like a sedative, this oil. It is amazing. I gotta tell you, the first time I ever smelled it, I was like, whew. My husband Dave called it whatever, vetiver, because he hated the smell of it. It's a root, right? So roots are not pretty smelling, but it has the most calming, grounding effects of any of the oils. It is an absolute stunner. I love it, and I use this on a daily basis. If you have somebody who is, really upset about something, vetiver is one of the oils that you want to be diffusing or putting on them. So you can use this one aromatically, topically, and internally. Cedarwood. So cedarwood is like one of my new favorite oils for sleep, but it really relaxes the mind and the body. And I've been using cedarwood in my diffuser lately and in my mixes that I'm using kind of in my roller bottles. This would also be great as a room spray. All of these oils that I'm talking about have like a vast amount of other great things that they're good for. But since we're talking about sleep today, I'm just really talking about the ones that are really good for sleep, but they have other great things. Like most of these are good for skin. You can see here, this one is good before exercising, massage, all kinds of really great things. And then doTERRA Breathe. This one is called the Respiratory Blend, but let me tell you, it's estimated that about 45% of humans snore. Dave is one of them, which means I don't get any sleep if he's snoring. So this one goes in my diffuser every night. You can actually take a couple of drops of the doTERRA Breathe, or it's called Breathe in the US. It's called Easy Air in Canada. It's the same oil. It's different names in Canada, the US. Mix a little bit with some fractionated coconut oil and put it on your partner's chest, and you're gonna sleep way better. But I always put this one in my diffuser. One, I just love this. I love the smell of it. And two, it really does kind of pave the way for a nice restful sleep from a respiratory point of view. So I absolutely, absolutely love this oil. And then I wanted to put juniper berry in here and just talk about it. My kids are older now, but this oil here is really super good for anybody who has bad dreams, or for kids that have night terrors. One of my kids, when they were little, they would wake up with night terrors all the time, and I really wish I would have known about this oil. But you can try adding juniper berry to your diffuser, or a diffuser for a child's room, or even yourself if that's an issue for you. And it just helps kind of calm those things. So it's very well known for dealing with issues of night terrors or night tremors. And another one that I would put in like in a blend in a diffuser with this one that I really, really like, it's patchouli and clary sage goes well with this. So that's juniper berry. I'm going to send this out and post it on my website, these sleep diffuser blends, so you don't have to worry about writing these down. I'll make sure that it gets posted to Healing Healthy with Nancy Essential Oils for sure. But here's just a few kind of ideas for blends that you can put in your diffuser. And by no means do you have to use these ones. You can come up with any diffuser blend that you like. Just go for it. There's no harm in trying different things. But you can see here, this one here, the Sleep In, the Vetiver and Serenity, that is absolutely one of my most favorite ones here. This here, so you can see juniper berry is in this one here with bergamot and vetiver. Again, very good for inducing sleep. So I love these ones. And then here's another idea. So a sweet sleep, you can put 3 drops of bergamot. This is becoming one of my new favorite oils, bergamot. It's actually, if any of you are tea drinkers, the oil of bergamot is in Earl Grey tea. So if you have black tea, don't have it before bed. But if you have black tea, you can drop a drop or 2 of bergamot and have Earl Grey tea. And then cedarwood is in this, and marjoram as well. So I will just tell you guys, so for most people who are already doTERRA members and you have a kit, you can very easily just set up an LRP and start adding some of these oils that aren't in your kit on a monthly basis. You don't have to get all of your oils at one time. I didn't. I've been collecting mine over the last couple of years, so it's really easy to do that. And you can just text me or Facebook me, and I can help you set up that process so that you're getting points back. That's how I get a lot of free oils, is through my LRP. And if you're not a member yet, just email me or Facebook me or the person who invited you, and we can help get you set up. I'm going to talk very quickly about passion. So sleeping passionately, I guess. Passion is actually good not only for sleeping, but it's also good for sex drive. But it's some artists, I guess their best attributes or wild creativity come in vivid dreams. So if you're a musician, an artist, or somebody very creative or a designer, and you're looking to have a little bit of spark or fire, in your spirit, I highly recommend the Passion Inspiring Blend. Add it to your pulse points and put it over your heart. It's got a really warm, spicy, kind of pleasant aroma, and it's kind of like an exciting state of sleep, and it has some lingering benefits. So you might absolutely, positively love that. These come from our, there's a set of emotional aromatherapy oils that these oils come from. Forgive, so sleep with forgiveness. Sometimes when we have bad feelings or we're holding on to something, it can be really difficult to get to sleep when we've got hard decisions or things flooding your mind. You're saying things like, I don't know, is it worth arguing with my spouse? Or, maybe should I say something to that other child's parent about their bad kid, or whatever it is, can I really trust my dog walker? I don't know what, but if you're harboring or you really can't get over those types of things, forgive might be a good one to diffuse. Again, it's another one that's really good to kind of put over the heart when you're harboring bad feelings for somebody. Oops. Let me try that again. And then sleep with consolation. So, you've had a long, stressful day. It can be mentally and physically draining and tiring, and you don't need to hold on to those emotions either. So you can go to bed kind of confident that the next day is going to be a better day. Every day is a new day, right? And so you can kind of open up the door with a new day with Console Comforting Blend. You can just add a couple of drops to your diffuser and then just let your eyes get heavy and go off to sleep. I always have fractionated coconut oil on hand. I like having fractionated coconut oil for applying the oils to my skin, not only just for any kind of sensitivities with the oils, but I also like using them because I feel it kind of keeps the oil longer on my skin, and I can smell it longer. And then this is another really interesting product. It's Serenity Restful Blend Complex. It's similar to the Serenity Blend that I talked about earlier. That's one of my new favorite ones. But the primary benefits, it kind of promotes relaxation and restful sleeping. It lessens kind of feelings of tension and calm, those types of things. And it really can just be used in conjunction. These two things can be used together. So it comes in a soft gel, and it promotes a restful night's sleep. And so now what? If you're anything like me, I got so excited about my essential oils. I wanted to learn everything about them. I just want to let you know that you're never alone on your essential oil journey with me. You can contact me at any time, or to the wellness advocate that invited you to this session. And I know this session is going to be replayed for quite a few people. So I just want to let you know that we're here to guide you. We're all on a learning journey with essential oils. I am not an expert by no means, but I might be a little bit further ahead in my knowledge than where you are. And I'm sure as you're starting to learn about essential oils, you're going to be sharing stuff with the rest of us. So it's really just a learning kind of environment, and I just love the community that essential oils have created. I will just tell you that if you are interested in getting essential oils, there are a couple of different ways to get to purchase essential oils. You can purchase with a wholesale advocate, or sorry, a wholesale customer account. There are enrollment kits where you can purchase kind of like some of the top 10 oils, and I can happy to talk about those with you further if you're interested in those. So that's my presentation. I just want to say totally get involved. Love, if you've purchased oils already, please use them. If you don't know how to use them, please contact me. I really, 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 would love for you to use them. And I really just want you guys to be getting the health benefits from your oils. I hope you enjoyed some of the information in this presentation. And I'm really glad that we got to do this together. So I just want to say thank you. And I hope you have a really awesome sleep. Thanks, guys.